Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for following my videos on mental health. Your support, comments, likes and shares mean so much to me. Knowing that these conversations are reaching you, helping you or even just making you feel less alone. That is why I do this. Mental health is something we all experience, yet it's not always easy to talk about. By being here, you are part of a community that cares about understanding, supporting, and improving mental well being. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about your mind and the minds of others. Let's continue this journey together. Today, we are talking about something very important, something that affects millions of people every day: depression. Many people feel sad sometimes. That is normal. But when sadness lasts for weeks or months, when it makes it hard to go to school, work, or even get out of bed, that may be depression. Depression is more than just feeling sad. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we behave, and even how our body works. Today, I will explain what depression is, why it happens, signs and symptoms, coping strategies, and how we can support ourselves and others. Let's start. What is depression? Depression is a mental health condition. It is not a sign of weakness. It is not something you can just snap out of. It affects our thoughts. That is feeling hopeless or worthless. It affects our emotion. That is sadness, emptiness, and irritability. It affects our behavior. That is avoiding friends, hobbies, or school. It affects our physical health. That is tiredness, poor appetite, and headache. Let me give you real life examples in children. A girl or a boy who loved playing soccer now avoids the field. That is, she all cries often and says, nothing is fun anymore. In teenagers, we have a teenager who loved art and music, stops attending clubs and socializing. They scroll through social media all day, feeling worthless if friends don't respond. In adults, we have a parent who feels exhausted even after sleeping. Getting out of bed is a struggle. Work feels impossible and the guilt builds over family responsibilities. Depression looks different at every age, but the pain is real and it is treatable. Why depression happens? Depression usually develops because of a combination of factors. We have biological factors, where we have brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. They regulate the moods. If these are imbalanced, a person can feel sad, exhausted, or unmotivated without clear reasons. For example, a child cries often and loses interest in school without triggers. In teenager, they stop enjoying hobbies, sleeps too much or too little. For adult, they cannot focus at work, feels hopeless even with support. Genetics also play a role, like if a parent or a close relative has depression, the likelihood increases for a person to get depression. Depression happens also due to life events, like we have loss of a loved one, abuse, neglect, or bullying, academic or work failure, and major life changes. For example, a child loses a parent, becomes withdrawn or angry. Teenager fails an exam, bullied at school, and avoids friends. Adult loses a job unexpectedly and feels hopeless. Life events alone do not always cause depression, but combined with other factors, risk increases. Social factors contributing to depression. Let me explain about it. Social factors are about how our relationship and interaction with others affect our mental health. Even if life feels fine, physical negative social experiences can weigh heavily on the mind. Let's look at them. Loneliness, meaning Feeling isolated or disconnected from others can make someone feel sad, anxious, or hopeless. For example, in children, a child who doesn't have friends at school may feel left out, sits alone during break, or not want to join group activities. Over time, this loneliness can make them withdraw further, affecting their confidence and happiness. In teenagers, may feel disconnected if they aren't part of social groups or if they feel different from peers, constantly comparing themselves to friends on social media can make them feel left out or inadequate. In adults may feel lonely after moving to a new city, losing friends, or going through divorce. Even in crowded workplaces or homes, lack of meaningful connection can contribute to sadness and hopelessness. The fact is, humans are social creatures. Feeling truly alone, even for a short period, can trigger depressive thoughts if it becomes chronic. We have toxic relationships. Let me explain. These are relationships where someone is consistently negative, critical, controlling, or abusive. They can be in families, friendships, or romantic partnerships. For example, in children, a child whose sibling constantly bullies them at home, or a parent who is overly critical may internalize feelings of shame or worthlessness. In teenagers, a teen in a relationship where a partner constantly criticizes or manipulates them may start believing that they are not enough. Friends who gossip, exclude, or pressure them also create a toxic environment. In adults in controlling or verbally abusive relationship may feel trapped and hopeless, leading to low self-esteem and depression. Workplace bullying also falls into this category. Please note, being around people who constantly put you down can affect your self-image, emotions, and overall mental health. We have peer pressure. Let's talk about it on how it affects. This happens when someone feels pressured to act, think, or live a certain way to fit in, even if it goes against their values. For example, in children, a child may feel forced to join in bullying, skip homework, or act cool in ways they don't feel comfortable with. The stress of trying to fit in can lead to anxiety and sadness. In teenagers, teens may feel pressure to use alcohol or drugs, conform to fashion trends, or act in ways they don't believe in. Constantly measuring themselves against peers can cause self-doubt and depression. In adults, peer pressure continues in adult life through work culture, social media, or even family expectation. Feeling the need to keep up with friends' lifestyle or career achievements can lead to stress, dissatisfaction, and low mood. Please note, feeling like you can't be yourself or constantly trying to meet others' expectations can quietly chip away at your confidence and happiness because things are happening in our daily life. Just know that social factors impact everyone, children, teens, and adults. Loneliness makes people feel disconnected. Toxic relationship harm self-esteem and create stress. Peer pressure forces people to act against themselves, causing internal conflict. Please take note. Even small positive changes in your social life, making a new friend, setting boundaries, or seeking supportive groups can dramatically improve mental health. Strong social support can protect against depression. We have chronic stress, where we have long-term stress that can wear down the mind and the body. In this, we have school stress, work stress, family stress. For example, for children, daily homework overload leads to fatigue. For teenager, balancing school, course, and friends feels overwhelming. For adults, managing work and family responsibility feels exhausting. Chronic stress changes the brain's emotional response, increasing depression risk over time. Kenya mental health statistics. Let's look on what is happening in our country. Before we move on to the signs and symptoms, let's see how common depression in Kenya. This is the survey. Shows that about 4 out of every 100 adults in Kenya experience depression or anxiety. Among adolescents, nearly 10% of older teens report symptoms of depression, and about 44% of all Kenyan adolescents report some form of mental health difficulty each year. In hospitals, up to 40% of patients present with a mental health concern, with the depression and anxiety among the most common. The Ministry of Health estimates that around 15% of working Kenyans, or roughly 3.7 million people, live with at least one mental health condition. These are numbers which remind us that depression is real, common, and treatable. Even if it feels invisible, you are not alone. Let's look at the signs and symptoms of depression, since that now we know depression is becoming an alarm in our country. Depression affects people emotionally, behaviorally, and even physically. We have emotional signs where it's persistent, sadness, or emptiness. For example, teen says, I don't feel happy about anything anymore. Irritability or anger. For example, a child snaps at parents over small things. We have hopelessness or worthlessness. For example, adult thinks I am failure as a parent. Loss of interest or pressure. Example, teen who love drawing stops complete. We have behavioral signs, social withdrawal, neglecting responsibilities, changes in appetite or sleep, restlessness or agitation, substance use or self-harm. We have physical signs, fatigue or low energy, headache, stomachache or aches in our bodies, difficulty concentrating, slowed movements or speech. If these symptoms last for weeks or months, affecting daily life, it may be depression. Let's look at coping strategies. These are ways to manage depression. Small steps make a big difference. Talk to someone you trust, like we have a friend, parent, teachers, or mentor. Seek professional support. Have a counselor, psychologist, or a therapist. Create a day routine. We have small goals like making bed, short walks, study in blocks, exercise and healthy habits like walk, stretch, dance, eat well, sleep enough. Limit negative influences, that is, reduce social media time, avoid toxic relationship. Mindfulness and grounding exercise. Take 5 deep breaths, notice surroundings. Just know, recovery is gradual. Small steps are progress. We have real life examples of coping. For children, daily short walks with parents gradually begins playing with friends again. For teenagers, talk to school counselors, join hobby clubs, mood slowly improves. For adults, join support groups, applies for jobs, focuses on small daily tasks. Sleep and stress improves. Support works at any age. When to seek immediate help. Seek help immediately if feeling hopeless most of the day, losing interest in everything, thoughts of harm or suicide. In Kenya, you can call 119 or any local mental health services. Asking for help is courage, not weakness. Depression can feel heavy and isolating, but you are not alone. Support exists. Recovery is possible. Check in with yourself. Are you noticing sadness or hopelessness? That won't go away. If you or someone you know is struggling, please don't wait in silence. you can contact me directly. My details are in my bio. We can also arrange online counseling sessions so you can get support from the comfort of your home. Reach out, talk, take small steps. Mental health is essential. Take care of your mind. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.